So before we get into the meat and bones of today's video, just wanted to show this. Many hundreds of thousands of views already within just the first 6 hours. Adin Ross reveals his new Tesla Cybertruck. I wonder how much Tesla had to pay Adin Ross for this video. I'm just kidding, they paid nothing. You better believe this video, currently going viral, will certainly sell quite a few Cybertrucks to Adin. This is a 26-minute video, and as you can see from the thumbnails while I scroll through, this is a literal 26-minute ad for Tesla's Cybertruck from Adin Ross to his audience of a shitload of viewers. One of the biggest folks on social media, has his own streaming platform, or at least part owner, ironically called Kick.com. And as you can see, Adin Ross is a big fan of his Cybertruck, so too his crew. A look of pure joy. I can understand why. Alright guys, so as most of you all know, I typically create content that is rather Tesla-centric, although today we're going completely off topic and talking about robotics, which obviously has absolutely nothing to do with Tesla, because Tesla is just a car company, right? Exactly. So, looking at the Ark Big Ideas 2024 report, their research around robotics. Some key words here. Generalizing automation thanks to the convergence of AI software and hardware. The convergence of AI and hardware should enable generalizable robotics, which for the record is a major departure from where we're at today with specialized robotics. It's quite simple, fairly straightforward to make a robot that can do a single task. For example, spank your ass when you walk past. Whatever, just as an example. If that's its only task, you can train a robot to do exactly that and it can become fairly proficient. Just don't drop the soap. But in order to have a generalized robot, you need intelligence and you need to train from the ground up to be a generalized solution as opposed to something that has extremely narrow capabilities. Robots are outperforming humans in factory settings already and should do so in many domains. As hardware and software costs decline according to Wright's law, AI should continue to improve productivity and create new market opportunity for generalizable robotics that, at scale, exceeds $24 trillion in revenue annually. Just for some context, today, Tesla's roughly doing 1/10 of $1 trillion in annual revenue. Fair to say, any company that successfully carves out a reasonable share of the generalized robotics market is likely to capture a staggering portion of this $24 trillion pie of revenue annually. Thanks to AI and computer vision, robots should be able to operate cost-effectively in unstructured environments. So just to orient you guys around the graphic on screen now, on the left here we have expensive, on the right inexpensive, toward the bottom structured environments, and up top unstructured environments. So some examples of some very expensive structured environments in which robots work. Medical and surgical robots. Very structured, right? An example of unstructured but very expensive, large military drones, which operate out in the real world. There's a lot of variation, though it's a less structured environment. Somewhere in the middle, ag tech robots and construction robots. Meaningfully more affordable, but still fairly expensive. Traditional industrial robots. A fairly structured environment. For example, a robotic arm that picks up and puts down a single object, the same size, shape, weight, mass, etc. every day in the same place on a production line. Very structured environment, still not cheap. Then we have autonomous vehicles, which at the moment are fairly expensive, but eventually will be quite affordable. And a huge outlier up the top here, humanoid robots, which will be the most inexpensive and capable of functioning in the most unstructured environments. A rather telling chart on screen now. Lower prices are stimulating demand for industrial robots. Industrial robot costs have been dropping 50% for every cumulative doubling in production. In short, the more robots that are produced, the cheaper it becomes to produce said robots, meaning the cheaper they are to buy, meaning they become more financially viable. Now just imagine in the future if there are some companies out there who themselves are producing many tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, then ultimately millions, maybe tens or wait for it, even hundreds of millions of humanoid robots or other robots per year. Now I don't see that happening anytime soon, but in the future it's inevitable. The actual hardware costs for these things will plummet over time. And increased performance is stimulating demand for industrial robots. Advances in computer vision, which funnily enough, I almost feel like that might be relevant to Tesla for some strange reason. I'm not sure why. Does anyone know why I would have thought about Tesla when they mentioned advancements in computer vision? And deep learning have improved robot performance 33-fold in 7 years. Robots are already surpassing human performance by greater than a factor of 2, and it's unclear where the upper limit will be. Currently on screen, we're looking at robots that pick items. items picked and placed per hour, e.g., great example would be an Amazon logistics warehouse. In 2015, a robot in purple, very inefficient. 2016, roughly tripling productivity and roughly tripling again. I'll skip ahead a little bit and just compare to a human in black here. The productivity of a robot in terms of items picked and placed per hour in 2019, less than a human worker, but not far off. Keeping in mind, the robots don't need breaks, don't get moody, don't come into work hungover, high, etc. They can work more hours, so already, not on a per hour basis, but in a total productivity in a single week, already by 2019, more efficient overall than a human. But now look at this. By 2022, robots now significantly more than double as productive per hour at picking and placing items than humans. And remember, typical human might work 40 hours a week. A robot, instead of 8-hour days, could be doing 24-hour days, and not 5 days a week, but 7. Collaborative robots are entering the sweet spot of the adoption curve. Collaborative robots and humans are likely to operate together, whether on the road, in factories, or at home. Historically, S-curves reach tipping points when the adoption of new technologies approaches a 10 to 20% market share. Think of collaborative robots like an assistant, co-pilot, etc. Notice, sales of collaborative robots are now roughly 10% of all industrial robot sales. In other words, they're reaching the tipping point. And many companies are likely to deploy more robots than humans. By the way, especially companies who employ a lot of humans today to do a lot of boring, dangerous, and most important of all, repetitive tasks. Roles that don't involve a lot of change, variation, creativity, problem solving. It's just pick this up, move it here, put this here, place that there. Very repetitive, directly in the crosshairs of robots. We can see that in 2023, Amazon had almost 1.1 million robots and just over 1.5 million human employees. Not too long before the crossover point, and Amazon will employ, so to speak, more robots than humans. Automation's impact on productivity has transformed industries. On screen now. Time to do laundry before washing machines, in a single week, 15 hours. After washing machines, 2 hours. Time to manufacture a car. Before the assembly line, 12 hours. After the assembly line, less than 2 hours. Time from click to ship at an Amazon warehouse. Before the Kiva robot, almost 70 minutes. After the Kiva robots, about 15 minutes. And if you have a business mind, or can at least put a business hat on for a moment, you'll understand. If your business is doing things faster, it means you're saving enormous time and simultaneously increasing productive output. And now the numbers, the juicy numbers. Generalizable robotics represent a potential $24+ trillion global revenue opportunity. The way that I calculate this, an average of 2.3 hours of unpaid work per day for household robotics, e.g. robots doing the 2.3 hours of work that today people do and aren't paid for, laundry, preparation of dinner, those kind of things. Population of around 2.8 billion working age people at $10.75 weighted average hourly wage, and half the value attributed to free time versus paid time equals a $12.5 trillion opportunity. And for what it's worth, the moment I can get useful humanoid robots in the home, I will be all over it. I can get more money. I cannot get more time. So I'm happy to pay. And I'm happy to be an early adopter of anything that can meaningfully save me time to put to better use. So this is just household robotics. Already $12.5 trillion opportunity. And now, manufacturing robotics. Ark forecasts global manufacturing GDP at $28.5 trillion in 2030. Now, just for some context here, these green cells, in terms of productivity uplift and take rate from humanoid robots in manufacturing settings, not necessarily humanoid robots, but most likely just robotics in manufacturing in general. These green cells are what Ark believes to be likely outcomes, e.g. a 20% take rate or a 50% take rate, and the productivity uplift, 50%, 100%, 200%. Total revenue opportunity, around $12+ trillion, which is an average of these green cells. Could be much higher depending on some of the scenarios. And remember, in business, money talks. If a company can become more productive, more profitable, more efficient, etc., and do so by utilizing humanoid or other forms of robotics, they will do it. And if there's a company out there that can produce a very capable, intelligent, generalized robot, especially in humanoid form, which means you can just plug and play, so to speak, in existing facilities. You don't need to redesign them just for the specific robot and its size and its form factor. If it's already humanoid and is generalized and has excellent computer vision, which is improving, and most importantly, will continue to gain abilities to improve over time, and the same company knows how to manufacture objects at scale in the millions and has experience with electric motors, neural networks, has developed / potentially solved real-world vision and AI, and has even announced plans to develop generalized humanoid robots. I would highly recommend paying attention to what they're saying and then doing some modeling and thinking about the possible implications. Or alternatively, you could just ignore this potentially $24+ trillion revenue opportunity by 2030. I mean, it's not that much money anyway, right? Wait, did trillion come before 1,000 or after billion? I don't know. I'm just some dumb YouTuber. What would I know anyway? Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro. When I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment, see you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.